Hey guys, it's Peck. Welcome to Over and Out VOD Squad, where we annotate and review your gameplay. Today's episode was filmed in front of a live audience. Today we take a look at some bronze gameplay on PC. Our hero's playing McCree, and the map is Hollywood. We've got our team, we have McCree and Genji DPS. We've got Hammond and Diva on tank, and we've got Mercy, Moira heals. And we're going to be running this into Orisa Sigma, which is double shield, which kind of stinks, but dive's not such a bad option, I don't think, into this. We've got Ana and Baptiste for heals. So enemy team has a lot more healing output than we have. They have a Junkrat and a Tracer for DPS. So, you know, this is going to be a little bit challenging as a McCree player, I think, because of the double shield. You're going to probably need to be looking for people like a Junkrat. Well, Tracer, you're probably not going to have to look for so much. You're probably going to be diving you guys a lot. So it's not going to be too bad. You'll be able to deal with her. The Junkrat, if he's positioned on high ground, you want to be pretty much looking for him up on high ground, maybe an Ana on high ground or a Bap on high ground that are not behind the shield. But if they're playing double shield and they're playing behind it, it's going to be a little bit tricky. So let's see what we got here. We're coming out of spawn. I hear Tracer. Tracer's behind us. Silver's hard to get out of. Borderline Silver. Yeah, it is tough. You have to carry really hard, but the upside is at the lower ranks you can carry harder, I believe, than you can at the higher ranks. It's just a challenge because you don't have the resources that you would at a higher level. But I think you don't get punished as much for certain mistakes, and I think that you can use that to your advantage. So this is a Tracer on your back line? Yes. This is good. Okay, this is okay. We don't need to be hopping here, but that's fine. If no one's looking at us, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, we missed our flashbang. That's unfortunate. Tracer gets away. We're on the red team, by the way, so we're supposed to be shooting at blue targets. That was a little confusing for me, so I'm just going to call that out right now. So a couple of things here. We are walking out into the open, into these two guys that can kind of see us. I'd probably rather be a little bit like playing the wall like you were. That was okay because we got the Tracer's flash out. If that Tracer was a bit smarter, she would have seen you reloading and maybe not popped it. This is okay. Putting a lot of pressure on the tank. I feel like you could be maybe going for that Tracer now instead. One thing here is your aim. You're aiming like center of mass here. You could be aiming a little bit higher for Orisa's head, and you'd be doing a lot more damage. Same thing here. You're hitting Diva in the stomach. You could be hitting her a bit higher in the head. It's good to be aiming down there if you're going to be using Fan Hammer, I think. If you're going to be left clicking, maybe not so much. Okay, we're pushing up. This is actually not a bad idea, especially since there's no tanks here. Given your rank, you want to kind of help take space. Like, you don't want to give them a chance to set up. You're really low on HP though. Probably gonna die here. Oh, really nice shot on the Tracer. What you can do here, because I hear you crying out for a doctor, you can go over here and take the Mega Health Pack, or you can go over here and play with your Diva on cart, and the cart will passively heal you a little bit. That's probably what I would do. These guys are all looking over here, so maybe not up. Maybe they're looking more this way. Maybe that's more accurate. But so because no one's looking, you could probably go this way, and you probably get here without being punished. It's interesting watching you dissect these plays, especially with the GUI you have going on as well. Yes, thank you. I'd probably go for this. You could go either way. Actually, if it were me at my own rank, I'd probably go to cart. It's a little bit safer. But in all honesty, the better play is probably to go here and take that Mega if it's there, assuming the Tracer didn't just take it. I don't think she did. And what you could do here is you killed the Junkrat and the Tracer. You could probably set up like behind the saloon here. And when they come walking out, they'll probably come walking out in a straight line. They won't expect you. And you just pop them right in the head. Especially the Junkrat will be really easy to hit. My dude. Nigel, thank you for joining. So this is pretty good. This is pretty good positioning. It was good positioning until you just drop down. So you might be okay here. This might work at a lower rank. I would probably hold the high ground because holding up there puts this pressure on those tanks and everybody, and it's gonna make them want to back up more. But you're going like straight for their DPS. You're about to engage a 1v2 on the back line. This is kind of risky. And then, okay. You can turn while you're high nooning, by the way, but that was an interesting high noon. You did get the Ana, so I guess I can't say it wasn't worth it. That's pretty good. Again, with your aiming, I feel like you aim here. You do look like you're trying to flick up a little bit to the head, but you don't have to. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But I noticed some people, they'll aim like, okay, like where you're aiming right here is kind of at his butt almost, or his thigh. And then people will flick their mouse up, and then they'll flick their mouse back down, and then they'll flick their mouse back up, and they'll be like, look, Ma, I'm flick aiming. And it's like, well, yes, but is all this movement really necessary, or can we just keep your cursor up here the whole time, and then maybe you flick a little bit this way, and you flick a little bit that way, and you flick a little bit this way, right? Some people do have that style of like hard flick aiming where that's all they do, and it works really well for them. My personal preference is tracking while people are moving. So you try to keep your crosshair on their head as much as you can. And it's not going to be exact because tracking is difficult to keep it exactly locked in. Then you kind of follow them as they move a little bit slowly. And then when you need to shoot, boom, you flick a little bit before you shoot, right? That's kind of what I would do. And you can punch him too when you're close. That's interesting. Yeah, we don't really need to kill that because we're kind of pushed past it, but I guess that's good. Use fan hammer a lot. Let's see. But if it works, it works. So I can't really question it. Now Tracer, good flashbang. Again, I kind of see a little bit too. You're aiming at the floor a lot. I don't know though. Maybe you're aiming at the floor because you are using fan hammer a lot. Hunting down the ball. This is a little bit okay, but I would probably, yeah. And you're not really gonna hit anything with the fan hammers like this. You're probably better off just left clicking him normally. But I would probably stay on point, and then when he comes back here, when he's up in the air like this, you can use your flashbang, and it will stun him, and he'll just fall down like a rubber chicken. Again, it's like it's just a different style. You know, some people like to do this doom doom where they constantly every time they shoot, and I'm like, why do you guys aim like this? I mean, some people do it and they're like top 500 and they're awesome, but like, you know, you don't have to continually like return your mouse back to the center again and then like re-flick, right? In my opinion, if you're already really close to the head, just keep tracking, and then if you're not really where you're supposed to be, you do a little bit of a flick, and then like micro flicks, I call them. Like a rubber chicken, Lamau, no way. Seriously. So he will fall down like a rubber chicken if you hit him with a flashbang. Okay, this is good though. We're doing good here. Yeah, there you go. See, that's what we want to see more of. That's unfortunate. So this is good that you're patiently waiting to not give him the armor from his stuff, but you can punch him here. The punch will go right through it. Melee damage goes right through it. Nice, good kiting. You'll be able to get this right here. Oh, just one shot. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I can see why you might want a fan hammer here, but I wouldn't do it at that range, and especially not on such a thin target at that range. Feels like a Roadhog maybe, or like a tank, something like big. Nice hog bait. I don't know if that was intentional. Okay. Okay, interesting. Again, you kind of gave up aiming in the middle there. You just kind of aimed at the floor a little bit. It doesn't really matter because it's high noon. But again, I always try to keep my crosshair as close to the target as possible, so that if, you know, I finish high noon, for example, I don't have to flick up all the way to get to his head. I'm just like, I'm already on his head. I just click on it. I liked not wasting movement as much. To me, like clicking back and forth constantly like this from the edge of the, like wherever the target is back to the center of the screen is like wasted effort motion, kind of. It hurts watching this because I rarely fan now. You know, it's fine though. Whatever's the tactic that works, that's what people do, you know? But that's good too, that you get to see that you made, you know, progress. So it's kind of cool that you get to watch it a little bit later, you know? So one thing here, it really doesn't matter here because we're in spawn, but this is something I see people doing a lot again, is we're aiming at the floor. Now, we don't expect anything to be here. Because it's a replay, I can see where all the enemies are. No one's actually, you know, if I highlight them, they're all here. No one's in our area, right? In general, what we should do is we should try to, it's called crosshair placement or cursor placement, right? You want to aim where you think people are going to be. So for example, if there was a, I don't think she can get in here, but let's say there was a tracer right here, right? Then maybe instead of aiming down here, we'd want to aim, because we can see that there's nothing over here right now, right? Aim our crosshair instead at this corner, right? And then when we turn this corner, we can move our mouse this way and check the corner to make sure that no one's there, right? And that's kind of how you could check corners. Or you could just punch it like that. I'm kidding. Same thing here, especially when we get to here. You're still aiming at the floor. I'd like to see you aiming like head level on one of these corners, like over here or over here or over here. Now there's a staircase that goes down here, I believe. So that's a little bit tricky. In that case, you kind of do want to aim sort of at the floor because that's where the heads are going to be. You see, like once we turn this corner, our head might be down here. Head's not going to be up at this level anymore. I would be constantly tracking corners like that and constantly aiming corners like that. Yeah, kind of like how you came around that corner, right? And again, now we're aiming at the floor again, and as soon as we see something, we're going to have to whip back up. But I'm not gonna be too focused on the aim for the rest of it. But I am gonna call out times where you're aiming at the floor, like kind of right now. But you know, there you go. See, that's a good time to be aiming at the floor because that's where the head's gonna be. It's gonna be towards the floor. Yeah, that, you know, aim could be a little bit better. We can practice aim. That's all what's going on here. Now, this is a very chaotic play in general. Like, we're kind of in front of our tanks a lot of the game. I think that's kind of normal for this SR. And kind of, if you want to kind of go in, you kind of have to go in because a lot of times your tanks are going to be too scared to do it. Ooh. That's good. There's a good pathing to the health kits and stuff. Like, I feel like your aim needs a lot of help, but I feel like your positioning isn't too bad for the situation. Nice. That's round 1. If you enjoyed this review, please like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on the links on screen. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you guys then. This is Pack. Over and out.